Welcome to the Medical Device Made Easy podcast. Here is Monir El Azzouzi from easymedicaldevice.com. And today we are talking about how to help you grow your online presence. So mainly the point here is that we have a lot of people that are maybe knowledgeable on a lot of things, and they want to be visible also on the social media. And we wanted to help them to understand how we do that. We are doing that mainly. So the objective was to explain that and explain the methodology. So that, it helps you. And we have also a challenge at the end. So just stay until the end. We are just presenting you a challenge that will ask you to follow, so that it will help you also to grow your online presence. And for that, to help us on all this objective, I have with me Karandeep Badwal. So Karandeep, welcome to the Medical Device Made Easy podcast.
Thank you very much again, Monir. How are you today?
I'm good. So it's a holiday period, so Christmas period. So I suppose that a lot of people are at home and maybe enjoying time with their family. So I hope, everybody is safe and has really spent a good time there and has also some rest. So the objective of today is mainly to try to help them to maybe take also the time to post more on social media or to learn more about social media knowledge here. So Karandeep, can you just maybe introduce quickly yourself? I know that a lot of people know you, but maybe some don't know at all. So can you just make a small introduction and then we can talk about that?
Sure. I'm Karandeep and I'm a quality and regulatory consultant working within medical devices. I initially started off my career working with the traditional devices, things like your pacemakers, defibrillators, the traditional ones that come to mind. And over the past sort of 2 to 3 years, I've started transitioning more towards software and AI, as that seems to be where the market is moving. And just like yourself, Monir, just to tell the audience, I'm also a content creator where I teach people about quality and regulatory as well. And I also run my own podcast called the MedTech Podcast, where I interview experts in the industry.
Exactly. So thanks for that. And you have also Karandeep that has also a lot of content. So follow him also on LinkedIn or social media. Go to his podcast. He's really interviewing also a lot of people. So it's something that is really important to share knowledge and then to know what others are doing also. And just to mention that Karandeep, you are also part of the LinkedIn Creator Accelerator program. So can you just tell us more about that?
Yes, so the LinkedIn Creator Accelerator program is an international program. So I believe in the past, they've had it in the US, they've had it in places like India and possibly other countries as well. But for the first time, they decided to bring it to the UK. So what was the Creator Accelerator program all about? It was, if you are a creator on LinkedIn, what it was with this program, it was basically teaching you how to use LinkedIn effectively. It was connecting you with other creators on the platform that you can learn from them. And LinkedIn was also running workshops. They were giving us tools. So they gave us free access to like video editing software, some live streaming software as well. And they also gave us access to like some camera tools that we can start using as well. And it was just more like a support to say, look, we recognize your creators on LinkedIn. We want to help you. And it was a way to pull you together. So I also got to meet creators from other types of industries, anywhere from finance or even other industries that you wouldn't even think of, people who specialize in, certain types of disabilities, and they educate people about that. And it was just a great way to learn about all the different types of content that there is on LinkedIn, all the different ways that you can engage on LinkedIn and how to make the most of it effectively. That was what the program was all about.
Yeah, and through this program, so I suppose you have made a lot of learnings, and the objective of today is also to share some of those learnings so that you can grow your online presence in terms of on LinkedIn. So just maybe to re-explain a bit. So mainly you are a QA/RA person, even another field, but mainly here we are really focusing on QA/RA, and you want maybe to be visible on the social media instead of just dropping your CV, if I can say, on the as a post on LinkedIn and say hire me, where it's not really effective sometimes. So the idea here is how you can also grow your presence and grow your networking and grow your credibility also within the platform, so that people can notice you and then can be maybe engage with you and maybe hire you if you are really somebody that is looking for a job. So this is mainly how to do that. So Karandeep has prepared for us some different topics that we can look at, but mainly the idea is that you are trying to follow as much of the thing that we are talking about today And as I've said to you, we have a small challenge at the end that will help you to grow also this online presence, and we want just you to be able to follow this challenge, because we'll be behind that also. We'll look at that also. So Karandeep, can we start with the first, if I can say, topic that we'll discuss, which is mainly to engage with experts. So mainly the idea is that you are arriving to the LinkedIn platform and you say, okay, what should I do first, maybe to get noticed or to start to create some kind of links with that. So we said that engage with experts is one of them. So can you explain that to us?
So yeah, effectively, for those people who've never used LinkedIn before, they've got a profile that's not being used. Of course, if you start creating content or engaging with content, it's only going to be shown to the people who are following you or are your connections. So the first thing you really want to do is go out and find experts in that field. So if it's QARA, find the people that talk openly about this topic, start following with them, seeing what the content is basically like. And generally with the QARA world, there's always new guidances coming out. There's always regulations. There's always questions, especially EU MDR or the FDA releases a new guidance document. People start discussing this. So what you do is when these experts share this saying, hey, look, there's a new guidance document that's come out or there's a new announcement. Like recently was the EU MDR extension for the ones that already had existing certificates for a few years. What you can start doing is go onto the post and start asking your questions. So what I mean by don't just go start asking questions immediately. Maybe you've read that whole guidance and maybe there's a couple of points that you don't understand. You can ask that expert free of charge, go onto LinkedIn and just write down a comment. Say, hey, in section 7, it mentions this. This is a little bit unclear to me. Then that expert will start responding to you and see you as somebody who's quite keen to learn in the industry. And how it's going to work with the LinkedIn algorithm effectively is once you start engaging on those type of posts, in your feed, it's going to start showing you those kind of posts more often. So the guidance starts to the things that you seem to be more interested in. Effectively, the more you comment on that, the more that you start to see. And that applies to any form of social media that you're doing effectively. Number 2, of course, is show appreciation to these people. There's people like Monir, people like me, and there's plenty of other experts in the field where we're creating content. And me and Monir have had conversations about this. Majority of the people looking at our content don't necessarily like or comment on there. If you just enjoy the content, just say to them, hey, I love the fact that you are doing this. It shows us that you're interested in this and there's people actually learning about it. And number 2 is, well, don't be afraid to say to an expert, hey, can you maybe discuss this topic before? I've never noticed that you've never mentioned it before. Because that expert may not realize that there's somebody out there that maybe doesn't understand something like that. Because if you're an expert in the field, it's very easy for you to start thinking that, oh, everybody can understand this because you're dealing with it on a daily basis. But from an outside perspective, it might be that something is confusing to somebody. So effectively, yes, go out and engage with the experts, like and comment on their posts. If you don't want to like and comment on the post, even just send them a message. I get messages sometimes saying, hey, Karandeep, could you make more videos on EU MDR, please? Because I don't understand, maybe Article 88 or don't understand PMS, etc. Or maybe what are the requirements for a QMS under EU MDR? So don't be afraid to just message these experts as well. And one thing as well is once you start engaging with these experts, like we go back to the topic of job search, or maybe you're interested in certain careers, if you're regularly engaging with somebody, you can start opening a conversation with them. You're no longer a stranger at that point. And maybe, let's say you're on the market, or maybe you're looking for some advice. It's at that point, maybe you can approach them, hey, I have X amount of years experience. I'm looking to transition into a company like yours. Do you maybe have an open position? And then even if that person doesn't have an open position at that given time, your name's always going to be there in their mind. So if they're going out and they're talking to their friends in the network, and I get this too, I might go to a conference, says, hey, we're looking for an intern. I'm going to remember that person that messaged me a few months back, say, hey, Karandeep, I was looking for this job, and I'm going to refer them on. So don't just message the person instantly, build a relationship, engage with their posts, get to be someone that's sort of hungry for knowledge, get on their mind. And then at that point, you can start approaching them effectively.
And this is true. I mean, all this is things that I'm also experiencing. So I have, if I can say, 2 types of people. The ones that are just popping up on my feeds and say, hire me or find me a job or whatever. And we have the other people that are starting with asking me a question about EU MDR maybe, then asking me a second question. And it's not like a question that takes me 1 hour or 2 hours to answer. It's something that maybe just like 1 second, just to 1 minute, just to understand the topic. And then, yeah, you can look at this and that and that. So it's easy. So something that is easy, which is not taking a lot of time, and that can start the engagement. And after maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 questions, after maybe some comments on the posts that I'm doing, I start to notice this person. I say, oh, I see this name a lot of times. So, and then I start also sometimes to engage with this person. I say, oh, who you are exactly? What are you doing exactly? So just also to understand, because we are also, I mean, me or other people, we are also looking for some talents, because we have a team also of people and working with them. So sometimes when we notice people, say, maybe this can be a talent on our team also, or maybe this can be a talent of another person that is looking for a job or whatever. So then we can notice, but slow, if I can say, engagement for me is the best, because then I start to understand and know and see that this person is really asking good question or really passionate by the topic also of quality and regulatory affairs. So it's something that is really, I suppose, really important for everyone. But for me, it is that, we are not just arriving to a chat that say, oh, hire me or do this for me or give me a recommendation. I get also some people that say, just give me a recommendation. I say, who are you? How can I give you a recommendation? I have no clue who you are. I mean, it's more like, oh yeah, I gave you a recommendation, or I gave you whatever things on LinkedIn to say you are an expert. So give me also the same thing. I said, no, guy, I'm not doing anything like that. So because it's also something that is important to say, I'm engaging or I'm recommending people that I really trust. So it's mainly the thing. So did you had also the same kind of experience, Karandeep?
Yeah, effectively, somebody who I've never met before just messaged, say, hey, Karandeep, I'm applying for this job. Can you please write me a reference? Okay, great. Do I know you? Even if I was to write a reference, what can I actually write about you? So again, it's like, we go back to the concept of a stranger on the street. If you just go up to a stranger on the street and give a CV and say, hey, find me a job, they're going to be looking at you like, okay, who are you?
It's exactly that. So it's why act on LinkedIn as the same as you will act, if I can say, on the real life. Go to in the real life, people maybe before social media, they were going to the conferences where people are talking. They were reading the articles of those people on the journal. They were maybe messaging them by letter to say, oh, we like what you are doing, or you said something here. What is this thing, etc. So the same, what you are doing like that, then we can see, oh, I know this person because I answered some questions to that she asked, or this kind of thing. So this is something that is really important to build gradually. So it's not something that you have to think, oh, just because I messaged him once and he never answered to me, so he's a mean person. No, just that I don't know you, and maybe what you ask me is not really making any sense. Like, as you said, like shouting on the street, so, oh, hire me. I say, okay, thank you. But mainly it's that. So engaging with experts is really, I think, the great methodology. You meet with the people that are in the area, you learn from those people, you engage with them, you ask them nice questions, they answer to you, etc. So it's starting to do good things. Then what else can this person do?
So another thing they can do is tag people on posts. I don't mean spam people, but for example, maybe if there's somebody in your network that may be interested in a certain topic, you can tag them in on that post just to make them aware of what's happening. Also, another point is you can also tag experts in on a post. So maybe let's just say there's a discussion happening on LinkedIn about a new regulation or new guidance, and you see that that expert in particular hasn't really commented or mentioned anything about that. You can be tagged in a post, and I guess that happens to you, and it happens to me sometimes as well. Somebody tags me on a post saying, hey, Karandeep, what do you think of this topic? And then that engages the conversation. Now, I'm going to remember the person that tagged me because it shows me that person is active and is interested what I have to say, and they're pointing me in the right direction as well. So that's another way that you can start doing it. Another way around it is you can sort of start, when you like and you comment on posts as well, you can maybe start recommending other topics maybe that the person can start talking about as well. That's another thing that you can start doing. So I think that's really what it is. If you think that this topic may interest another person, don't be afraid to tag that person. But don't make the mistake of just constantly tagging that person at every single post that you see, because you're just going to get blocked.
Hey, just a second. Do you need a EU, Swiss or UK representative? Then choose Easy Medical Device. We can represent you and also become your importer. Contact us at eo@easymedicaldevice.com. Exactly. I think this is interesting because I get also this experience where I wake up in the morning and I have out my feed, Monir, you have been mentioned in one post. I say, okay, what's that post? And I look at it and I see that somebody had just put me there, like what's your opinion of this, or what do you think of that? And I start to read, because apparently they are really asking me to engage. So it's something that is also important to say, yeah, if you have a good question, maybe if you have something that is important or interesting, if you are writing maybe this question, maybe to also tag some experts, not maybe only one, but multiple experts can be a good strategy, so that your post is also seen. But as you said, also, if you see something that is interesting and you see, oh, maybe Monir can answer to that, because it will be interesting, then just putting on the comment, tagging the person can be attracting the eye also, because I mean, it's not like we are aware of everything, and in our feeds we got so many other topics that are coming. So maybe something that we can miss also. So having somebody that is reminding us that is really important. But this is also something where, as you've said, it's also something that say, oh, this person is helping me to get up to date, or to understand some topics, or to see something that is making sense or nonsense or whatever. So that is also something that is trying to help. So as you mentioned, you will remember the names of those people, and you will maybe tell them thank you, or maybe you ask them, oh, who you are again, and then start to engage with those persons also, which is really something that is important. Now, if you are more in the way to, okay, this is more if you are not really the creator, if you are more really the one that wants to engage with some expert, follow maybe, or comment a bit on this, etc. But now, if you want to be seen as the expert, or if you want to be recognized, or that people are following you, because I saw somewhere like that there is 90% of the people that are more following, and 10% of the people that are more creating. So which is more about this proportion, where most likely there are a lot of followers, which means that they are checking what you are doing, what you are saying, what you are things. But maybe you want to be the one that is explaining, or informing, or sharing, etc. So in that case, how would you recommend those people to start engaging, if I can say, with the audience?
So the first thing is, go out and see what are the topics that people are discussing. So as we mentioned, EU, MDR, guidance documents, etc., and start making posts around that content. Now, don't make the mistake of repeating of what every expert is doing. Have your own opinion, and have your own set of questions that you have about that guidance doc. Because when a new guidance doc or a new regulation comes into place, I often look at every single expert in the field, and every single expert identifies something different, or they have a different set of questions. That's one thing you want to do. So don't just copy everything. Number two, of course, is experiment with different types of content. Don't just keep making image posts or video posts all the time. I've been guilty of that, where I've just been making nothing but video posts. One thing I learned on the accelerator program is experiment with different types of content. Different types of content are going to appeal to different types of people.
Okay.
There's going to be people out there who really enjoy videos and love watching videos, and they want to watch that. There's going to be other people who are maybe sitting at work and quickly on their desk, they just want to have a look at an image, or maybe read a post. There's some people who really enjoy reading and want like a really long post. There's some people who get bored very quickly and just want a short paragraph and a summary. So the idea being having different types of content is you appeal to different types of people. So on the platform of LinkedIn, number one is carousels. That's where you have like an image and then maybe 5 or 6 different images, and every 3 seconds it flicks onto the other one. So that's one way that people like it as well. Number two, of course, is that I see a lot of people not doing is live events.
Yeah.
Of course, in the past, there were video events, but a lot of people don't realize LinkedIn now has live audio events. So like there was that audio platform, I forgot the name of it now. Clubhouse, sorry.
Clubhouse, like Clubhouse?
Yeah, Clubhouse, that's the one. Yeah. LinkedIn now has something that's very similar to that, where you can host a live audio event. Now, the beauty of a live audio event is people don't have to have their camera on, so you're more likely to have a bigger audience. It's something that people can join in from. Other posts that people can start making celebrations of milestones.
Yeah.
You know, if you've basically just been promoted at work, it's not bragging. If you go online and say, hey, you know, I've just been promoted to manager, or I've just joined this particular company. Other milestones can be, hey, you know, I've worked at this particular company for 10 years and this is amazing. It might be that you want to celebrate a colleague or like a mentor, saying, you know, this particular person has helped me so much in my career and I'm making this post to do that.
Yeah.
Another type of content I like is polls, whereas effectively you ask a question and then you have maybe 4 different answers that people have. And I often do this when it comes to content. I say, guys, you know, what type of content?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Is it EU MDR? Is it FDA? And that's just a way to engage the audience. And the beauty of polls is it takes someone 2 seconds to click and just put a vote on there. So it's a very, very easy one to get engagement with. And of course, there's image posts, there's video posts, but also don't disregard just text only. If you've just got a text only post, put it out there on LinkedIn. And that's what it is with LinkedIn, is don't just keep monitoring the likes and the comments. If you look at the impressions, that actually shows the amount of people liking it. And again, like what you were saying, 90% of people don't necessarily engage with your content. But of course, if you are going to start producing content, you must be consistent. You can't just merely make one amazing video and then disappear for 6 months, and then make another video and then disappear for 6 months again. You're not going to get anywhere like that. I'm not saying post daily. It's ideal if you post daily, but even just once weekly or once every couple of weeks, you need to have a set schedule and you need to post for time. You can't just post for 3 or 4 months and disappear. It takes months or sometimes years to get that following.
As you said, it's mainly to how we can grow an online presence, and you can grow an online presence only if you are consistent, if you are always there. I saw somewhere something saying that people will start to recognize you or recognize something if they have seen this thing 7 times. So it's mainly that 7 times they start to see it, say, oh, I start to see a lot of time this person or this thing. So who is this person? And then you start to check and you start to look at their company and you start to look at what they are doing because you are curious. Oh, everybody starts to talk about this person, or there is a lot of posts coming from this person, and it's good post also. It's also the fact to say, oh, it's great content, etc. So who is this person? And you start to understand. I have a story about, I mean, on my first, at the beginning when I started to do online marketing, so online content, so mainly I had this guy that was showing up on my video feeds and was cursing, talking bad, or saying things that are not really nice. And I was saying, who is this guy? I mean, and I don't look at him at all. And then 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, I see, but who is this guy? Everybody's talking about this guy, but he's not. I mean, doesn't look like, wow. It's just a normal guy that is trying to maybe sell his knowledge and whatever. And then after I say, okay, let's listen to him once, what he's saying exactly. So, and then I start to listen to him and say, oh, but what he's saying is great. I mean, it's not so bad. And then I start to engage with this and understand exactly the philosophy and everything. And so it's why we are making all that. So this guy was Gary Vaynerchuk. If you meet him or if you hear him the first time, you say, he's a crappy dude. I mean, nothing to do. But as soon as you start to understand the philosophy of online marketing and content, he's the guy that is explaining to you exactly what should be done without selling you anything. So he's not trying to sell you anything. He's just explaining to you the things. And it's mainly the thing that I like also is the fact that you are trying to help people to grow and to understand everything, which is really, really great here. Do you have those kind of figures, Karandeep, that you had the same thing, say, I want to grow and to do this, but mainly you had to wait for 3, 4, 5, 6 times that you see this person and you say, okay, who is this guy, what he's doing, etc. So that you are now curious and start to look at him.
Yeah, I'm not going to say any names, but if you go onto YouTube or any forms of social media, again, you're going to see somebody, and the first time you see them, they say, okay, fine. Second time you see them, third time, fourth, you start saying, you know what, let me check this person out. And I think that's what you have to do, is don't judge somebody the first time that you meet them. Go out there and listen to them, because you have to look at the post from their perspective. They're looking at it a different way from you. They've had different experiences to you, but you need to go out and understand their backstory, fully understand what they're about, then go and watch their content, and it will make sense. If you just watch a 5-second clip of somebody, depending where that 5-second clip is, you can get a good opinion or a bad opinion of them. And that's like with anything in life, just because you have a bad experience of something once doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. Go out there and try it a few times and then make your decision effectively. And then you realize that most people out there have good content. You've just got to understand it from their point of view and maybe just view it a few more times than just the once.
Exactly. And when we said, for example, as a creator, we should be consistent. So what is for you consistency? Is it like once a month or once, as you said, once a day? So what is, maybe on LinkedIn, for example, what is the perfect consistency for that?
Generally with LinkedIn, I find if you want to get the best results, at least 5 times a week, you can take the weekend off, and the LinkedIn algorithm doesn't penalize you if you want to take a couple of weeks off. So don't get scared saying, oh no, I'm going to have to post on my holidays. And I don't know if these features come out, but as part of the Creator Accelerator promo, I now have the ability to schedule LinkedIn posts. And I believe I just got
Yeah, I just got that. I discovered that on my LinkedIn. I didn't know. I don't know if it's something that is now public to everyone, but I just saw a new thing when I posted, and I saw new. So I looked, and you can schedule the post. So many put the post for later, etc., which is great because many sometimes you have something to post, but as you have maybe posted already 2 or 3 times in one day, you say, okay, let's maybe keep it for tomorrow. And having this feature is helping to then plan everything and schedule everything. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another tool that you can start utilizing as well. So maybe if you're going to be away for a week, you can just schedule 5 posts and not worry about them. But then that's what it is with LinkedIn. Now, realistically, I know 5 times a week is not going to work out for everybody. Once a month, I feel is too irregular. It needs to be at least once a week. But also what you can do on LinkedIn as well. So you might have your old content that you have once a week, but you might reshare other people's posts. You might be engaging, etc. That's another way to get around it. So I think not necessarily, make sure you make at least 1 engagement a day. That's probably the best takeaway that I can say to someone. Whether that's a like or a comment or a message, that's the best way effectively going around it. So I think that's the best schedule, but always pick a schedule that you can stick to. If you say, hey, I'm going to post 7 times a day and you want to do it for 3 days, it's a waste of time. So find a schedule that works for you and stick to that. Of course, there's going to be times where maybe you post a little bit more than often or you post a little bit less than often. Fine, things happen. But find a schedule that works for you and stick to it.
So when we say post, as we said, we can post something completely new that you have created. You can repost something that people have already posted once. But you can also, for example, sometimes it's what I'm doing. You look at in the web or whatever, and you find a good article on the topic that is really interesting, and you say, okay, QA topic or how to perform an audit, an internal audit, or this kind of things, and you say, oh, it's really interesting. So the point is also that you can directly put this article on your posts, and maybe other people will be interested to read this article also. So it's mainly the thing that can be interesting, to not need to create yourself. You can just share what others are created in a new post. And it will be considered like a creation, if I can say, in terms of LinkedIn, because you are the one that is initiating that. Even if it's not your content inside, it's helping also to grow things. So I have also the experience of myself where I create some blog posts. So I post them once in LinkedIn, and then I say, I think myself, everybody has already looked at this post, so it's fine. But 2 months or 3 months later, I say, okay, let's post it again because I still get some questions about this kind of topic. So let's post it again. And then this post go again like viral because a lot of people, oh, it's great post. Thank you for posting, etc. But it's just a post that I posted 2 months or 3 months ago. So, you haven't seen it already. So people don't see everything, if I can say, like us. So the idea is that, having a 2 times post or waiting maybe 1 or 2 months before posting again the same thing that you have done before, which is we call it evergreen, if I remember. So something that is always good. So it's not like a season thing. So it's really evergreen. So each time you post it, it's really it can work because mainly there is no seasonality. There is no it's not linked to an event or whatever. So it's mainly something that is always working here. So have you also experienced that, or posting old posts and posting all those things?
Yeah, effectively. I was always making the mistake in the past that every single post had to be new. And there was a marketer, not in the medical device industry, and said to me, look, Karandeep, you need to realize that there's nothing wrong with, posting something 3 or 4 times, because there's always going to be somebody there watching it who's seen it for the first time. And I actually experienced this last week.
Okay.
Somebody messaged me and say, hey, Karandeep, I love your quality management system video. I love the fact that you did it. The video was over 1.5 years old and I just reposted it. But that particular person saw it for the first time, gained value and reached out to me. Another way you can do it is repurpose. So maybe like you mentioned, a blog post or the video. So for like a video, you can maybe take a very small clip and then you can put that video out there. Or like your blog post, you maybe take like a paragraph that you put in there, reword it slightly and put it out. So that's what I call repurposing. So I've got like one long video, which let's say is 5 minutes long. I'll break it down to 5 1-minute clips. And each one of those 1-minute clips is a different topic. That's now 5 posts that I've generated from a previous video. Or another topic, like you say, evergreen as well. Like if a topic emerges again, if people start talking about MDR deadlines or a certain type of FDA guidance, you might then want to repurpose that post that you've had in the past and put that out there again when that topic comes out. Because as you said, these topics are evergreen. People are always discussing these and these always come along. So don't be afraid to start, publishing out your old content again, because there's a lot of people out there going to be watching it for the first time effectively.
And what about, if I can say, students? They are just coming out of school, or they are at school, if I can say, and they are learning also. And they think that, oh, we are not experienced enough to be able to post. We are not experienced enough to do something like that. So is it true that students should not, if I can say, post or should not discuss with experts or share things that experts should share because they are students?
This is a very funny topic where I tell students to make LinkedIn profiles. Oh, but Karandeep, I'm not a professional. My profile is going to look empty. I'm like, you're a student. No one's going to expect you to have 20 plus years experience. That's the position that you're in. But as a student, there's so many things you can share. If you've done some form of scientific or technological degree, there's always going to be some form of module or something that's maybe somewhat related to medical devices. You can post about that. You can make contents on being a better student. You can make content on how to write better articles or essays as part of your studies. You can also start posting questions. This is what students are guilty of not doing effectively. We're, like you and me, we make content teaching people. But why don't you start making content where you're questioning things? And that's going to engage experts to come in and start asking things. Also, as a student, you've always got something you can teach people. So if you're a student, let's just say you just finished university, there's maybe going to be another student out there who's just about to go into university and doesn't understand how to go about dealing with it. So you can start making content on how to go about doing that. So as a student, that's what you can do. And as we mentioned, there's always guidance documents and articles and letters and regulations that's coming out. You can just make a post saying, hey, check out this new FDA guidance that's come out, or this IMDRF paper that's come out, or an MDGCD guidance. So yes, as a student, that might be limited in terms of how much content you can make, but to go as far as saying that students can't make content, I completely disagree with that.
But I think it can be also a chance maybe for them while they are students and maybe they are looking for a future job to start this engagement, to start this networking already while they are students. Because as I said, they can get noticed already by some people and say, okay, he looks really smart. He's asking good questions. Maybe it could be interesting to have this person as an intern for an internship also to the company, or maybe having this person as a junior consultant or junior employee just to start his career also. Because the point is that, you have as a student to be also showing motivation for certain activities, for the job, for the things. So this is for me one of the best way to show that your motivation, that you are asking to experts some questions, that you are trying to get some knowledge, because even the expert, if they don't have maybe a job, as you mentioned, so they maybe know somebody that is looking for a person. So then you can say, oh, I have this person that is following me and they ask me good questions. And the student, maybe you can hire him and I put you in contact, etc. So this is also the fact to say, if you are not connecting with those people, there will be no chance that they can recommend you or they can find you something, because at the end, they don't know you. They never saw you. They don't talk to you. So it's mainly the person. So connection, even before starting to arrive to the job, is maybe something that you should think of as a student or as a person that is really with low experience, because this is the way that maybe you can land with a job that is really perfect for you, because you showed that you are really passionate about certain job. And this is really important, because sometimes you are a student on a certain field, and because you are not engaged with the right person, then you move to another field, because at the end it's because somebody else talked to you. So try to connect with the right person, with the person. If you like photography, so go connect with the photographs on LinkedIn and try to see what they are doing and their things, and show them maybe some pictures. Say, oh, I have made that. What do you think? Is it good color or whatever? I mean, this is how you get noticed, and maybe this photograph will hire you at a certain point. So, oh, I see a good student here that can help me in my future activities. So you got maybe some contact with some students, but do you think this can help also? I mean, this can really help them?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very lucky in the sense that when I was coming out of university, one of my university professors made a lesson on making a LinkedIn profile, and everybody in the room said the same thing. Oh, but we don't have experiences. Like, guys, just go onto LinkedIn, connect with the people, because you don't want to wait until the day you walk out of university and then start applying for jobs. It's much more efficient maybe in the last few months, or maybe during your studies if you're looking for an internship. So yeah, it's a great way to get noticed, because let's face it, and many I'm sure you experience this too, a lot of hiring these days happens through word of mouth. It happens through your network. If you're only going to apply for jobs that are advertised online, you maybe got this much of the market.
Yeah.
And another thing is with internships as well. They may not necessarily advertise them, but there may be somebody who's a manager out there and says, you know what, I could really do with an intern, but they don't want the hassle of having to look through CVs, etc. But if you've got a LinkedIn presence and then you're commenting on certain posts, etc., let's just say there's a company that you want to work with and that company makes content, you can start engaging with that company effectively, start engaging with them, and whoever manages that social media profile is going to recognize your name. Once you build a bit of a relationship with them, you can then contact them directly, say, hey, you know, I'm a student. I may be looking at graduating in a few months' time, or I'm between my first and second year, and I want to do an internship. Maybe that's over a summer, or I want to take a year out. That's a really great way to contact these companies. And they may be saying something like, hey, you know, we were looking to hire interns about 6 months from now, but I've seen what you've been doing online. Why don't you come in and have a chat with me? Or maybe let's have a conversation. That's effectively what you're doing. So that's one thing I think students really need to take advantage of, because I've been in that position often. When you come out of university, getting that first job often is quite difficult. And also that first job is what sets the foundation of where you're going to be in the next few years. So if there's a certain field that you want to work in, if you can get that first job within that particular field, utilize LinkedIn to try and help you get that job effectively. I think it's a really great way of standing out in this social media age.
Exactly. No, I think it's, I hope a lot of students will follow that and will do that. Because as you know, on EU MDR, on all those regulatory changes that are happening, we need some resources to help us to do all those activities. So having students that are really engaged and passionate and then start to also engage with others is really something that is really, really important here. Okay, Karandeep. So mainly, I think all those tips I hope will be helping. And as I've said, when we prepared this episode, I said that, yeah, it would be great to provide a lot of tips to people, but why not also provide a challenge so that they can try those tips and then try to grow their online presence? So this is something that we are starting now, but mainly we'll try to advertise in the following weeks. So the objective of this challenge is that we help you, or the community will help you to grow, or the community will help you to unlock maybe something on your head so that you can really grow and make some presence and start your online career, if I can say, on the quality and regulatory affairs field. And what we wanted to propose to you is to start to use the strategies that we talked about today on posting or on liking or commenting, etc., but using one hashtag that we have created. And this is mainly a hashtag where we will be following that, so me and Karandeep, but we ask also other people to follow that hashtag. So if you can go and follow that hashtag so that you can see those posts that are coming with this hashtag on your feed, so that we can like your content or comment on your content or repost your content ourselves. And the idea is also to help you to grow your online presence and then unlock maybe something, as I've said, on your head so that you can really start the thing. So as we said, something that will not be, you don't need to be like 100% there, like every day or this, but once in a while to post or to start to share some knowledge, share some articles, share something, or comment can be great. So, and we thought about that with Karandeep. We said, which hashtag should we use? Which hashtag? So yeah, it was a lot of things. So to be honest, the hashtag is not, we don't care about the name of the hashtag. It's not that the problem. The thing is that just something that is really reflecting the challenge and that people can follow and that can use. And Karandeep, so we arrived to the hashtag EMD challenge. So EMD challenge, EMD so that they can do that. So Karandeep, how do you, if I can say, advise people to use this hashtag so that they can get most of this experience here?
Yeah, so that's another point I should bring on from the Creator Accelerator is a lot of people on the post are not using hashtags. So what it is, you can follow a hashtag just like other forms of social media like Facebook and Instagram. If somebody has a topic, let's just say is hashtag ophthalmic and you're interested in ophthalmic products, that's a hashtag you follow. So what you would do on your profile is effectively, ideally at the end of your post, you want to put EMD challenge, so hashtag EMD challenge. What that means is anybody who's following that hashtag would then see that post, and that's the point of this challenge. So what we're doing is encouraging everybody is to go out and start following that EMD challenge, start making content where you've got that hashtag EMD challenge on there. And it's a way for me and Monir then to monitor what your content is all about. And that's the way that we go about doing it. Also on the topic of hashtags as well, is you generally don't want to have more than 5 in your post. So let's just say your post is about contact lenses in medical devices. You could have hashtag contact lens, hashtag medical devices. You can have hashtag EMD challenge. But generally, you don't want any more than 5 hashtags in your post, because then, it's going to be hard to follow it.
Yeah. So sometime when you are starting to write a hashtag on LinkedIn, they are proposing you a lot of other possibilities for your hashtag. So this is the way that, as we said, you can really gather a group of people or around one topic. For example, Easy Medical Device, we have the hashtag Easy Medical Device. So each time I post something on LinkedIn or wherever, I put the hashtag Easy Medical Device, where people can follow this hashtag. So each time I post something with this hashtag, then people can look at that. You can also use this hashtag. I mean, it's not like proprietary, if I can say so. It's more like anybody can use it. But the idea is mainly that, the hashtag is to help you to group your topics under one umbrella, which is that. So EMG challenge is the one that we are asking you. You'll go on the show notes and you will see a link for EMD challenge hashtag. You click on it and then you have to follow directly there. So as soon as you have done that, so each time somebody is putting this hashtag on their post, the idea is that you, as part of this group, you are also looking at this content and maybe liking this content, commenting this content, or reposting, or engaging with this person. So that the idea is really that we are helping people to learn more about how to grow their presence in LinkedIn, and then also become themselves an expert, or for you also to learn how LinkedIn is working, so that mainly at the end you are also able to understand how to grow your presence, or to know who to follow, so that you can also make a good receive also good contents on your feeds there. Okay, Karandeep. So we'll monitor that, you and me, but as I said, everybody that is following EMD challenge, you can do that. We will also talk about it again and again and again, so that during the month of January, there is a lot of more people that are joining this initiative. But as I said, this is just a challenge for a few months. We'll look at that after if this helps or not, and maybe try to discuss about that during another episode. Okay, Karandeep, anything else to share with the audience? Anything that we missed here, or another tips that needs to be disclosed?
Go out there and give it a go. Not every post that you make is going to get millions and millions of likes. Just go out there and try it. If it doesn't work out for you, fine, walk away. But don't just give it a few days or a few weeks. Be consistent with it for a few months, and I promise you will see results that you otherwise will not have seen.
Great. So let's talk about that in a few months again. And maybe we can share a story of somebody that was starting from zero and is now followed by a lot of people that are, because he's sharing good content. So we can also share those kind of stories if this happens. So please follow this challenge and let's see how it's working. So Karandeep, thank you for all this information. As you are part of this LinkedIn program, so if there are new things, so maybe, as I say, we can have a new episode just to share what will be coming and how to use those kind of features. In the meantime, so it's nearly the new year now. So last week before New Year, so I wish to everybody nice holidays, good time with their families. I hope you had a good 2022 year, and now let's move to the 2023 with a lot of health, a lot of good things, if I can say, that are happening. I'm not thinking always about money, but more about how you can be happy in life and happy within your activities, because you can have a good job, if I can say, that is paying a lot, but maybe you are not happy within your job. So the idea is also try to find happiness in your life, so that you can really move in the right direction. So Karandeep, really thank you for that. Thank you for all your help, and let's see us again in 2023.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much, Monir.
Thank you. Bye.